Great care should be taken to avoid near-point stress caused by long periods of work, for example on books or computers. A person with previously good long vision may find that distant objects are less clear, and this can become a permanent condition as the ciliary muscles are locked in the short field focus. Astigmatism, which literally means lacking a point, occurs when the cornea is more curved in one direction than another. This causes light to focus on more than one point in the retina, which is interpreted as a blurred image by the brain. As a result, circles become elongated into ovals, and a line, which consists of a series of dots, appears as a succession of strokes fused into a blurred image. Indeed, all images become unclear. Astigmatism is easily corrected by glasses with cylindrical lenses that operate only in one meridian. The patient will then be able to correct any myopia or hypermetropia in the usual way. An alternative permanent treatment for astigmatism is to reshape the cornea, usually by laser treatment, to remove a disc of tissue from the central cornea. A cataract is anything in the lens which obstructs light from entering. Normally, all the layers of the lens are clear. However, with age or disease, or the cumulative absorption of ultraviolet light over the years, the lens can become cloudy, yellow, brown, or even opaque. The effect of the cataract is that images become unclear as the light is scattered after passing through the lens. The treatment for a cataract is to make an incision in the lens capsule, remove the lens nucleus by breaking it into little bits with ultrasound, suck out the bits, and replace it with a fixed focus artificial lens. The procedure can be done under local anaesthetic, and the success rate is extremely high. Pilots can return to flying after treatment. Pilots experience higher rates of ultraviolet lighting than most people. It is important that they wear good ultraviolet blocking sunglasses to reduce the risk of cataracts, apart from any style benefit. Eating yellow fruit and green leafy vegetables, such as broccoli, kale and spinach, eggs or nutritional supplements, all of which are a source of vitamin A, may provide some protection from cataracts. This is because naturally occurring carotenoids in the crystalline lens, lutein and zeaxanthin, which are cousins of vitamin A, absorb blue light and act as antioxidants, inhibiting the formation of free radicals which can contribute to the formation of cataracts. The last of the eye defects for us to look at is glaucoma. This is a condition which causes a pressure rise in the liquid in the eye, which can damage the optic nerve irreparably, leading to blindness. The cornea and the lens are fed and lubricated by a fluid called aqueous humor. This is secreted from the ciliary body, which we came across in connection with lens accommodation, into the space between the iris and the lens. The aqueous humor then flows into the anterior chamber of the eye, and then through the trabecular meshwork, which is located where the iris joins the cornea, and out to the aqueous veins, where it is absorbed. The fluid is continuously being replaced in this way. It is this trabecular meshwork that causes the problem. It is made up of passages reducing in size, and they can become blocked. When the aqueous humor does not drain properly, the ciliary body carries on producing aqueous humor, and the pressure increases in the anterior chamber of the eye, but importantly, it also increases in the chamber behind the lens. The eye is a strong structure, built to contain fluid at pressure. The weakest point is the optic nerve, and the increased pressure with glaucoma can compress the nerve cells, damaging them, and eventually they die, with the result that they cannot carry image messages to the brain. Such damage is irreparable. When the patient himself becomes aware of such a loss in his visual field, the glaucoma is already very advanced. Because glaucoma develops over many years, there are no early symptoms. Eye pressure testing after the age of 40 is desirable, and a reduction of peripheral vision may be an indicator after the loss of about 25% of optic nerve cells, of which there are about 1 million. 2 tests are carried out by opticians in search of glaucoma, and testing really is the only precaution. 1 is for a gradual loss of peripheral vision. The patient is asked to look at a screen in a dark room, using one eye. Single lights are shown at various points from the centre to the periphery of the patient's visual field. If the light is seen, the patient presses a button, and a pattern of the visual field is obtained. The second test, using a tonometer, is for eye pressure. A disconcerting puff of air is shot at the eye, producing a measurable response. Pressure between 12 and 20 millimeters of mercury is the normal range. Treatment of glaucoma is by various eye drops, which can reduce the production of aqueous humour or increase the draining function of the trabecular meshwork. In severe cases, glaucoma can be treated by surgery, when a small hole is made to allow the fluid to drain. Who can suffer from glaucoma? Well, anyone can, but some are more susceptible than others. Glaucoma is hereditary. It is 6 to 8 times more common in African people than in Caucasians, and people over 60 are 6 times more likely to suffer from it, as are those with diabetes or who are short-sighted. Although glaucoma usually develops slowly over many years, it can develop quickly if there is a blockage of the trabecular meshwork. This can cause pain, blurred vision, and red discoloration of the eye. The JAR ESA medical requirements on vision are quite detailed. As you see here, currently there is an overall visual acuity minimum requirement that must be achieved using both eyes, with a further minimum requirement for each eye separately. Visual acuity is measured against a standard of an arc of 5 minutes, that is, 5/60ths of a degree, subtended from the eye. Along that arc, at different distances, letters of different sizes will fill the arc. By taking a point at 6 meters or 20 feet, chosen simply because that was the length of a normal examination room, the letter will have a size of 8.87 millimeters, and a normal person should just be able to decipher it. This is called 6/6 or 20/20 vision. That is, at 6 meters, you can read the letter size appropriate for that distance. Were you to be 40 feet from the test, then the normal person should be able to read a proportionally larger letter. The size of the letter at any distance is simple trigonometry, and equates to 0.4433 millimeters per foot distance from the viewer. If one cannot read the second line of the chart, which is appropriate to a distance of 6 meters, but one can read the letters on the first line, which are appropriate to a distance of 9 meters, then one's vision is 6/9. In other words, if your visual acuity is 6/9, you can read a letter at 6 meters that a person with normal vision would be able to read from 9 meters. This chart, which is not to scale, shows the size of letters found at given distances along the 5-minute arc. You will see, for example, that line 3 shows the size of letters that will be found at 24 meters of a 5-minute arc. If, when viewing the chart at the standard 6 meters, one can only see the letters appropriate to 24 meters, then one's acuity is 6/24. In other words, it is only a quarter of standard acuity. The JAR requirement for a Class 1 licence is 6/9 acuity in each eye separately, and 6/6 acuity using both eyes with or without glasses or contact lenses. However, the corrective element, that is, the strength of any lenses used to achieve this standard of acuity, is limited. Where the only correction necessary is for reading, pilots should not use full lens spectacles whilst flying because of the varying focus needs. Half-moon glasses or similar should be used. If both near and distant correction is needed, then bifocal lenses are permitted. Whatever the type of glasses used, a spare pair must be carried. Contact lenses, other than bifocal ones, can be worn, and they have both advantages and disadvantages. Click on the page to see these. Where it is proposed to use contact lenses, a report from one's optometrist must be brought to the medical, stating the contact lens specification and confirmation that they have been constantly worn for over 8 hours a day over the last month. This concludes our lesson on vision.